Hi friends, welcome to my channel Chic and Savvy, where we talk about all things relating to planning and budgeting. My name is Carissa, and today we will be going over my finance planner and doing my setup for July. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first, I already have, I think, all of the pages in here for July, so we're gonna go over that. But let's go ahead and change out my decor. I can't believe June is already over. I feel like I just put this stuff in, but I absolutely love this clip. All of this stuff is from my Planner Envy subscription box. And so we're gonna get rid of the stuff that came for the June box, and we're gonna put in some items that came in the July box. So she didn't have two paper clips this time. I only have one, and it's this little guy right here. So I don't think I'm gonna put anything here except for maybe some of these cards that come in. So I have this one, and it ripped a little bit. So let's see what this looks like. And then I have this. She gave us some sticky notes, and this was wrapped around. So I'm gonna see what that looks like. I wish I had a clip, but I don't want to put this one over here because I do use these in my videos. So I think this is as good as it's gonna get, but that's okay. Gives us just a little pop of something so we know what month it is. I did update some of the sheets that were at the front, so I'm gonna show you guys what those look like. So we have my dashboard, my finance dashboard here. This is the collage I created, just things that are inspiring to me and things that I want to see for myself and for my husband for 2025. So we just have, I think I've showed this to you guys before, but just baby fever, some healthy foods, trips, a new home, hanging out with friends, planner stuff, just, you know, things like that. I just really like the way this looks. The only thing is I wish I would have put this at the front so I could see it, because every day I kind of just go to my section. I don't really flip through very much. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to see this more. I might just put it up on my board so I can see it like that instead of like this, but yeah. So this area is something I created to show when my paychecks are. So I am the pink and my husband is the blue. So I just thought it was a super cute way, because I stamped all of these. I have a stamp, and it's like a monthly stamp, and I just wrote in the dates, and then I got these little stickers from the Aesthetic Dollar, and I just labeled them to show when our paydays are. So for take for instance July, on a quick glance I can see that these are our paychecks, and I can tell whose is whose. So I just thought it was something super cute and creative to put in here. And then this is my bill tracker. So I do use this, and it shows me what my bills are, when they're due, how much I budget for them, what's auto, and then I check mark or fill in when I have paid that bill. And so yeah, that's the front of my planner. Just wanted to give you guys a quick little update on things that I've changed or completed. But let's go ahead and go into July. Okay, so we have our July section. All of the sheets are in here, and so we're gonna flip through them really quick, and then we'll go ahead and start filling out the things that we need to fill out. So I have my finance goals. I usually fill this out with my husband so we can determine what we want our goals to be for the month. Here I have my bills calendar. So this is a theme that I decided to pick for this month. It matches my lifestyle planner dashboard, which you guys will see in my planner setup video. But I picked like under the sea, jellyfish, and why am I blanking on the name of this? Starfish. This was super hard to color in because I didn't have the correct colors, but I did the best I could, and I actually like the way it turned out. But we will be filling this out together. And then I have my budget overview sheet. So this is a monthly overview of what our budget is gonna look like. Just some estimated numbers, so that way I can kind of see the whole picture. And then I have my paycheck planner sheets. As you guys know, I fill one of these out every single week. Me and my husband get paid bi-weekly, but we're on opposite schedules. So we get one paycheck per week. And I use this sheet to plan out those paychecks. And I also have the cash envelope breakdown sheets, so that way we can determine how much cash we need out of the bank. So I have 4 of those for each week. And then this is something new I created actually starting this month. So this is a sinking funds tracker. This just shows all of my sinking funds, and I want to start tracking what the totals are for those after each week. So that way I can open this up and at a glance see how much is in each envelope, so I don't have to physically go through the binders to see how much is in there. So I decided to create this just to keep better track. And then I have my savings tracker. So this is just to show how much I'm able to save each week in each category, and then I can compare it to last month. So those are all of the sheets that we have. So let's go ahead and jump into filling out my bills calendar. My stickers and my payday stickers. And we're gonna decide what color we're gonna use for the numbers. So we have a few different colors here that we can pull from. Let's see what's in this. I don't have a blue, and I definitely used blue for the background. It's just not, I didn't color this whole thing, but let's see what July's color is on here. So I got these from, yeah, that's not gonna work. I got these from Amazon a long time ago. They're just a colorful date dots pack that I picked up. And I want to apologize for my voice, guys. My whole family, after we came back from our trip to Oregon, it took us all out. My husband had food poisoning, and my parents both are they were very sick. And I didn't get sick so much as I got this cough and congestion. So my throat and my voice sounds insane. So I apologize for that in advance, but I didn't want that to stop me from making the videos that I want. So you're just gonna have to settle for my smoky voice. If any of you are Friends fans like I am, it's my smelly cat. It's my smelly cat voice when Phoebe is sick and she has like her smoky, give me a whiskey voice. I don't know if I'm going to keep that in here because that was totally off trail. But anyways, let's see what colors we can pull from here. This is also from Amazon. I got a million years ago. But let's see. I have like this salmon or orange color. Let's see what else. I think that's really it. Yeah, these ones are too big. I definitely need to get more of these at some point. Okay, I think we just go with this. Sorry guys, I'm super indecisive. Okay, so I'll go ahead and fill all these out, and then we'll come back and write in the bills. Okay, so we got all of these down. Now that it's all on here, it doesn't look that bad. I think it's just, also this lighting is hopefully masking it, but I feel like I should have, if I had some of this like purpley magenta color, it would have looked better, but we gotta use what we have. So all of our numbers are down. Let's go ahead and put our payday stickers on. So we'll take one, and our first payday is going to be on the 4th. So we're gonna put that, oh, you know what? Actually, I think I remember this from last time. I need to write the color that we're gonna choose. So let me get my markers. These are the colors that we are using for this month. So I just used the same colors that I used to do the coloring for my dashboard and for the calendar, and that's what we're gonna use for our calendar. So let's go ahead, we're gonna need 4, and let's go ahead and start with the purple. And then that's gonna be on the 4th. And then next we'll use this color. And then that'll be on the 10th is the next payday. And then we'll use this pink color. And that'll be on the 18th. And then we'll use this color. And that'll be, I guess that matches here. And that'll be on the 24th. Perfect. Okay, so we have our colors, and now we can take our payday stickers and put that right on top of the marker. Perfect. So we have all of our paydays here, and we are ready to write in our bills. Okay, so if you're not familiar with how I do my bill calendar, I write out my bills and then I highlight them according to the color of that paycheck, and that color determines which bill I'm going to use with which paycheck. We have all of our paycheck colors, and now we can write out when all of our bills are due. I'm going to write out all of my bills onto the calendar, and then we'll go ahead and highlight together how I'm going to spread out these bills. Okay, I think we're all good. So now we can highlight what we are gonna differentiate the bills for each paycheck. Actually, I'm gonna add a color right here. And this is gonna be paid in June. So because I have these bills that come before my pay date, I used last paycheck to pay for some of these bills. So we're gonna go ahead and highlight those. And we did True West. We did Microsoft. And we did Apple. So those bills were already paid previously, so we don't have to worry about them this time. And now for this paycheck. So this paycheck is going to pay, we are going to use that paycheck to pay for this bill, Unisa, because I have a little bit of leeway on when I can pay that. And also my husband's Verizon bill. And even though I don't pay this loan right now, I just like to have it on here so I can constantly see it. And then we're also gonna do this subscription. So see how like I technically wouldn't have to pay for this until this paycheck, but because I'm only paying for a few things, I wanted to include this subscription in with that. So that's how I kind of determine when I pay each thing. So next is paycheck 2. So for paycheck 2, we are gonna pay for, actually I'll also color this in. This is my travel credit card. I don't pay this when it's due. I just pay it whenever I save up the money because we're just paying off a trip. So I'll just include that with that. Okay. Second paycheck, we're gonna do Canva Pro, EOS, our PenFed credit card, and also our car insurance. So I am paying these ones, and I'm paying a bigger one to include in that. Next is our third paycheck. We are gonna use this to pay for this debt, and my Planner Envy subscription. And that is it. So this is a really big bill, so that's why I try to only put that on its own. If I included this bill with it, it would have been a lot, and I wouldn't have been able to save as much as I would have wanted for that week. And then lastly is our fourth paycheck. And a lot of these are subscriptions and they're very small, so that's why paying them all at the same time is okay. So we have this bill. This is a debt. We have Webtoon. We also have this other debt and Cox, my Verizon bill, and this. So that is how I kind of decide what to pay using what paycheck. And then when I go to do my budget, I know exactly what I'm going to pay with that paycheck, if that makes sense. So this is how I kind of like to show it. And we are all good to go. So hopefully that makes sense. I like to visually see things like this. I don't know if that helps you guys, but it helps me to see. And then I mark off the day like this. And then on my paycheck track, my bill tracker, I can mark off which ones I paid out already. So now we can fill out our budget overview sheet. So we're gonna just take this out. And we can start writing this in. So I like to fill this out just as at a glance for the month to see how much we're gonna be able to save in total after paying all of our bills, all of our expenses, and our debt. I want to see how much we're going to have left over. So that's why I like to do this sheet. So that way it gives me a good idea of what the month is going to look like. So we get 4 paychecks a month. So we're going to go ahead and fill that part in. So I'm going to do, the first paycheck is my husband's. So we're going to put that on here. And all of these are just going to be budgeted, estimated amounts, just so that way, again, we get the overview picture of what it's going to look like. So we're going to put our estimated amount is $12.50 for my husband. And for me, I am getting a change in pay, so I'm going to kind of guess what I think that's going to be right here. So we're going to add this up. So we have $12.50, $13.15, $12.50, $13.75. So $51.90 is the money that we are working with. So that is how much money we have for the month, and we have to use that to pay for all of our expenses and any debt that we have. So I'm going to use this to write out all of our fixed expenses, and we'll go ahead and I'll show you guys what that comes out to in totality. I have everything written here so we can determine how much our bills, fixed expenses are. So fixed expenses are anything that is on our bill calendar. So that's anything fixed. That's like a mortgage, your electric bill, your phone bill, your water bill, your electricity bill, your car payment, your subscriptions, anything like that is going to be a fixed expense. I like to break mine out between debt and then all my others just so I can see how much I pay towards debt alone, but that would all be considered a fixed expense. So let's go ahead and add these up. So because I already paid these bills in June right here, I'm not going to include that in our budget. So we have 128, 20, 15, 33, 35, 26, 50, 373, 11, 70, 80, and 11. So that comes out to $802.50 for our fixed expenses. And then for our debt, we have same thing. I paid True West last month, and these two I don't pay anything towards them, so we're not going to include them in the budget. So we have 195, 100, 521, 53, 35. So we have 904. So that is all of the money that we pay towards bills. So now we can write out, we can get rid of this for now, and we can write out what our variable expenses are. So variable expenses are expenses that you have throughout the month that can vary in amount, and that they're not so much as fixed, that they can just depend on circumstance. So that is your grocery bill, your gas, spending money, fun money, anything like that would be a variable expense. So we have my parents and we give them $1,000 a month. We also give both of our moms money every month, and that comes out to $200. We have our household expenses that we budget for once a month, and we budget $50. We have my husband's spending, and we usually do 30 a week, so that's $120. He gets an extra little bit each month, and that's $45. And then we have my spending, and I get the exact same. And then I also get a little something extra each month, and that is $50. And then we have gas, and we budget $200. And then we have eating out. We budget $30 a week, so $120. Fun money also gets $30 a week for $120. We donate $5 a week, so that's $20. And then my husband's lunches. And we budget $30 a week for that, and that is also $120. So let's go ahead and add that up. So we have 1,000, 200, 50, 120, 45, 120, 50, 200, 120, 120, 20, and then 120. That's better. Okay, so that is $2,165. So now that we have, oops, I'll have to wipe that later. Now that we know what all of our money has to go to, we can now determine how much we're able to save if we have anything to save. If you don't have anything to save, that's when you need to look at what am I spending my money on and how can I cut down. So let's go ahead and see what that number is. So we take our income, which is $51.90. We subtract our fixed amount, our variable amount, and our debt. So we have this much left over at the end of the month, or we have that money left over for the whole month to save with. So we can write that right here. So I just like to write that amount because that lets me know that for the entire month, we're gonna save this much, or we should save that much. So that gives me a better picture to see, okay, when I split out our paychecks for the week, I can save this much each week, and I can determine what categories to put that amount into. So that's how that's why I like to do a budget overview, because it just gives me a better idea of how the month is going to go. So let's get this back and put this sheet back in here. All right, guys, so that actually concludes our setup for July, and we are all ready to go for the month. But I want to thank you all for being by my side throughout this journey, and I can't wait to see where life takes us. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, friends.